What's up, everybody? It's Wednesday night, and you know what that means. It's time for us to sweep the league once more. Rudy Campos Jr., Trey Collis joining me tonight. Coach Gio is actually working late, so he will not be joining us tonight. Austin Harshfield is still working out. So, yeah, we're going to sweep the league one more time again. And actually, this is the last preview show that we've got. We've been previewing all of the NFL divisions for you guys. NFL season starts next week. So, yeah, we're on the last two divisions. I guess the one division that everybody is in love with in the state of Texas being the NFC East, as well as we're going to be talking about the AFC East. Like I said, this is Sweep the League, Rudy Campos and your Trey Collis, brought to you by Project Spurs and also by DraftKings. Hey guys, let's talk real quick about DraftKings. Go sign up. Fantasy football is right around the corner. Sign up today on DraftKings. Use that code TBPN. Get your account ready for the upcoming season. You know you want a DraftKings account. I've got a DraftKings account. We've all got DraftKings accounts. We're getting ready for the fantasy football season. Head over to DraftKings. Use that promo code TBPN. Get signed up today. Trey, are you ready to sweep the last two divisions?
Of course, the best division in the NFL, baby. I'm totally.
And that's why we're saving the best division in the NFL, in your opinion, last. So if anybody hears something out there, I've got a draft actually at 7:30, so we're probably drafting here while we're on the air. So we may get through most of it by the time I have to draft, but this is draft number 7 tonight. I've got another 9 more to go. So
I don't know how you do it.
Not looking good, man.
I'm in 4.
Not looking good at all. I'll be honest with you, brother. Let's see. We're gonna start here. Okay, so let's go to the AFC East. We're gonna start off with the Buffalo Bills. Again, we're sweeping the league, basically the NFL edition here, sweeping the league. Buffalo Bills, and man, okay, so we're talking about 13-3 Bills team last year. Josh Allen made leaps and bounds last year, and let's be real, the reason why he made leaps and bounds is because of the one addition of Stephon Diggs. Now, their defense it's stout. I love their defense too with Ed Oliver, Tre'Davious White, Tremaine Edmonds, Micah Hyde. What did they go and do, man? They went out and drafted a Gregory Rougeau, but they added a veteran wide receiver that I enjoyed with Emmanuel Sanders. Now, Mitch Trubisky was added as well for the quarterback scheme, but I don't think that was a bad move. I actually like Trubisky. It's a brand new home for him. Buffalo right behind Josh Allen. Mitch can actually benefit from being there. Trey, for as far as the Buffalo Bills go, I don't know if I have this team actually pegged as Super Bowl contenders, but I've seen it out there that they're questioning their Super Bowl bound. I mean, you have Kansas City in the AFC, but can they potentially get over the Kansas City hump and possibly make it to that Super Bowl?
My answer is no, but they'll be close, right? They have to have one or two lucky things happen to them for them to leap the Kansas City Chiefs, in my opinion, who got better this offseason, even though they did get rid of one good Sammy Watkins on the offensive side of the ball, receiving core. But I just think that the Buffalo Bills, they upgraded a little bit. I like the Mitch Trubisky move, but that running game is going to have to step up for Josh Allen this coming season because it wasn't there last year as it was the previous year. So it's up to Moss and Singletary to carry that load for the Buffalo Bills to give Josh Allen some help. Now, I tell you straight up, I was totally wrong on Josh Allen. Coming out of the draft, I thought that he was going to be a bust. I thought he was going to be the worst pick in the league. I don't know why they went out and got him, but they're proving me wrong. Josh Allen is probably the second or third best quarterback in this league today, active-wise. I just think that defense needs to shore up a little things as well, too. If they get that defense shored up, but I just think that Kansas City still leaps and bounds over. I still think they're a lot better than the Buffalo Bills just because of the bad man Patrick Mahomes and all the what Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, running back. They upgraded their offensive line. Their defenses got a little bit better too this offseason. The Bills, I think they need to have one or two breaks go their way where like Kansas City falters in the divisional round, but Super Bowl contenders, yes, but they have to have one or two good things happen to them to fall their way to make it to the Super Bowl. But I think by far, I think they're the second best team in the AFC, which which is probably the third best team in the whole NFL. So it's nothing to laugh about. But I still think that the Kansas City Chiefs are still your Super Bowl favorite team to go make it through the
Yeah.
AFC side.
Yeah, and George Nino's in here. Shout out to George Nino, a longtime friend of mine. He just wants Cowboy Talk. George, I
I'm with you,
promise
George.
Cowboy Talk is coming. We are covering the NFC East right after the AFC East. So Cowboy Talk is coming. I promise you it's coming. So yeah, as far as Buffalo goes, man, that's why I've got on who to watch. It's Moss and Singletary. We know what Josh Allen can do. We know that passing game is there. But what you want to do is you want to kind of limit how much you are allowing Josh Allen to rush. So
Exactly.
if Moss and Singletary can actually take and move a step forward and make a big difference, this Buffalo Bills team can be really tough. And that's where I think it stands for Buffalo. Like you just mentioned, the running game. The running game has to be there for the Bills. They have two running backs in Devin Singletary and Zach Moss that are very capable of being, 1,000-yard backs easily. I mean, we're talking, maybe 1,200 yard backs here. They've got to step up. They've got to make it easier for Josh Allen. If they do, I see potential for Super Bowl bound Buffalo Bills here. I mean, it potentially can happen. One team that is a lot of hype, man, and a lot of hype is the next one here we're covering on the AFC East, the Miami Dolphins. I mean, this team right here on paper, I mean, it looks really good. You've got a good defense. Tua played pretty good last year. You've got some young guys. You got Myles Gaskin. You're adding a Jalen Waddle. You went out and got a Will Fuller, who's a deep threat for this team. But I think it's kind of like the Cleveland Browns situation where on paper the Miami Dolphins are looking good, and you think these guys are going to compete. Brian Flores is going to have these guys compete. They're going to compete, but I don't think they're going to be as competitive as people expect them to be. How are you feeling about the Dolphins, man? Are they overhyped? I mean, I know Tua's got to have a good season this year, but can he have a better season than he started off with last year? I don't know. I'm still not sold on Tua, to be honest with you.
Well, it's hard to be sold on Tua, and you hit the nail on the coffin right there. It all depends on Tua. That defense is stout. I think that defense is one of the maybe top five in the league right there. They brought in Jalen Waddle, who's probably a safety blanket for Tua because he did play at Alabama together, and they had a major effect in the Alabama championship run as well. So bringing in Waddle is going to help Tua and his confidence level as well. But Tua's coming off a major surgery, and plus he had the whole COVID-19 thing last year, where he didn't have the OTAs, he didn't have the full training camp, he didn't have the mini camps and all that sort of thing. So this year he finally got a whole year under the system, get connected with those wide receivers. And I think you're going to see a different Tua this year. And if not, then Miami Dolphins are going to have to look. I'd say give it by week 6 to see how Tua Tagovailoa is doing and see how the record is and see if that trade option is still open for Deshaun Watson, because there's still talk that they're in, even though Brian Flores came out earlier this week and told the guys that Tua is our guy. But they're struggling. If he's struggling through week 7 before that trade deadline, look for them to pull the trigger on Deshaun Watson by every stretch of the imagination. But he has all the weapons in the world. Like you said, he has Gaskins in the backfield. He has Devontae Parker. He has Waddle. He has Will Fuller as well. So all the pieces are there. The defense is there. Special teams there. They have a great head coach. They have a great system over there in Miami. This team overflourished the last couple of years when they were rebuilding. They still almost made it. They were a couple passes away from making the playoffs last year when no one expected them to do. I actually have Miami as a playoff team as a 6 or 7 seed. I think they'll make the playoffs this year. But are they a threat for the Buffalo Bills in the AFC West? No, I think Buffalo Bills are going to run away with this. But for sure, we got to watch. And you hit it. Who to watch is Tua Tagovailoa, because of last year he had to coming off a major injury where we didn't know he was even going to play again, a major hip injury, and now it's hard to come back in NFL because the NFL game is totally different than the college level. Even though you did play at Alabama, it's basically a pro style offense as it is right now. But he had a full year now. He had a couple games. I think he got it. I think he's getting adjusted to how the NFL speed is. And I think you're going to see a different Tua this year. And I think that he's going to carry this team to a playoff berth.
Yeah, for sure. We didn't get into the fantasy value for Buffalo Bills. We'll just mention that. Obviously, Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs are must plays for the fantasy values or fantasy football for the Buffalo Bills. I've actually drafted their defense in 6 of 6 drafts that I've had so far. We'll see if I get him tonight at number 7. But I'm all in for Buffalo's defense.
Pick them first, baby.
But as far as Miami Dolphins fantasy value, I mean, man, this is kind of tough because this is a team that can be explosive. You want to say maybe Tua? God bless you. You want to say maybe Tua in the later rounds would be good. A Miles Gaskin in the later rounds would be good too. Maybe mid rounds. We're talking Jalen Waddle probably has some really big benefits here in a PPR league. You can probably pick him up very, very late in drafts. So definitely Jalen Waddle has some fantasy value here. Outside of that, there's really not much fantasy value here. Do you see anything else that we might be missing?
And I mean, you hit it. That's who I had. Gaskins would be a great third running back, maybe even a flex, depending on the matchup situations. If you get him in late, like 8, 9, 10 rounds. Tua's going to be a good backup. I think he's going to be a good backup for 1 week if your starter's out. Will Fuller, if he can stay healthy, I think that he can make a big difference for this team and make a deep ball. I think especially PPR. He can catch the ball deep down the field. He's going to beat your deep ball threats along with Jalen Waddle. If Jalen Waddle is having a good year, then look for him to have a huge fantasy impact on this Miami Dolphins team and on your team for sure. But Waddle, I think he's been my 4 drafts that I've done already. I think he's been averaging maybe 7th, 8th round. So you can get him pretty late for a good price for a bench and see how he does. And then if he starts progressing, then you can go ahead and start him. But that's all I see in this Miami Dolphins team and their defense. I could pick up their defense too later, maybe last round or whatever.
Yeah, probably the daily fantasy play. The defense would be good.
Oh yeah,
daily fantasy. So, real quick, man. Again, we are brought to you by Project Spurs and DraftKings. Go get DraftKings. Go get your DraftKings account here soon. Sign up on DraftKings. Use that promo code T. I got it right here. I'm lost for words. TBPN. Use that promo code TBPN when you sign up for DraftKings. Get your account ready for the upcoming season. It's going to be fire. You definitely need a DraftKings account. Use our promo code TBPN. Get you started right away. And speaking of news, man, this news was a bombshell, man. Cam Newton basically released. Bye-bye Cam over in New England. Mac Jones is the starter. I, for one, did say, I said, I'm not really surprised by it. I mean, the writing to me was on the wall a little bit there for the New England Patriots and Cam Newton. It seemed like he was having a little bit of issues with the coaching staff and also maybe the front office a little bit. Bill Belichick just doesn't really mess around with anything. I mean, if you're not all in, then he's not all in on you. He's just going to get rid of you, basically. There's a lot of other stuff coming out saying that maybe it's this, maybe it's that. Honestly, man, Mac Jones has looked pretty good in the preseason. Can starting Mac Jones take Bill back to the playoffs? I've seen some analysts and experts say this is the second best team in the AFC East. I don't know about that. I think it's still too early. You've got some great pieces, but wherever you added pieces, I mean, you added a Jonnu Smith and a Hunter Henry. You actually bolstered your defense a little bit with Van Noy and Judon. This team it looks like a good team, but can they be a playoff team, Trey?
Well, it feels like this year Bill Belichick's finally getting back to his style of offense, right? Last year it was like kind of like a let's fit Cam Newton. Cam Newton fit a little bit of the New England Patriots. It really didn't match very well at all season long. I know Cam got COVID and everything, but this whole Cam Newton thing with Bill Belichick, this is all sneaky Bill, right? He leaked this story to the press that, hey, he went out to a different team doctor after he got permission. Bill Belichick knew what he was doing. He wanted to start Mac Jones. He didn't want to play Cam Newton. So that's why he went out and made it this. The Patriots went out and leaked this story, and they made Mac Jones. Mac Jones is a perfect fit for this New England Patriots team for what Bill Belichick wants to do. Bill Belichick wants to run the ball. He has even though they just traded Sony Michel away, they still got a ton of running backs that they're going to use. You don't know what you're going to use in this. You don't know what running back he's going to use in each different game. But like you said, I think it's too early to tell because we really don't know how Mac Jones is going to relate to the NFL style of play. Yeah, we all saw his numbers last year at Alabama, but that was with a all-studded wide receiver and Devontae Smith. You had Waddle there. You had these receivers was getting wide open where Rudy Campos Jr., for heaven's sake, could throw the guys the ball. So I don't know what we're actually getting with this Mac Jones. He has looked good in preseason, but has also been against second and third stringers. I'm anxious to see how this first team. I think it's too early to tell. I think this is a whole Bill Belichick effect that people are picking them second in the NFC or the AFC West. I think I have Miami the second best team in the AFC. Now, can New England get there? Can three teams come out of the AFC? I can see it, but this is finally Bill Belichick went back to his style of offense. McDaniels, this is what they want to do. They want to run the ball, play action, all that fun stuff. So it's the first 4 weeks are going to be interesting because I don't even think they have a backup quarterback on their roster right now because they got rid of Hoyer too, I do believe. But I do think that they do want to get Hoyer back. So it's just going to be a wait and see kind of game. That defense is going to have to. That defense is going to be the calling card for the New England Patriots as it is every year. The defense is probably going to. The defense and special teams are going to win those guys games. Maybe 3 or 4 or 5 games this year alone. They don't need really Mac Jones to do too much. It's going to be the Tom Brady effect. It looks like where he doesn't have to not ask him to do too much. And I think Mac Jones is going to learn throughout the pre-season, and he might get to that elite status maybe once in a while. But I just think. It's too early. I'm with you, Rudy. It's too early to tell with Mac Jones. I have to wait and see. I just don't know.
Well, their backup right now is Jared Stidham, but he's out. So, yeah, technically they don't have a backup right now. So, fantasy value real quick. The only guy, I'm going to be honest, man, the only guy I can really see with a ton of fantasy value now is Damian Harris. I mean, this is a guy who probably was a mid fantasy guy. You drafted him maybe in the mid rounds. I'm actually looking at him at around 4 right now. I'm shooting him way up the charts right now. Round 3, possibly round 4. I mean, with Cam gone and you going back to Bill's Bill ball, basically we'll call it Belichick ball. Mac Jones is not going to run. I mean, this guy is going to be a pocket guy. So Damian Harris is going to get all the love when it comes to fantasy value now. Definitely go out and get you a Damian Harris. Anything else you might see on the Patriots side for fantasy value?
Maybe just watch the waiver wire for Mac Jones, see how he progresses throughout the season. But for daily, I wouldn't pick anyone on this team, maybe except for Harris, like you said. That defense is going to be good with Gilmore coming back. The whole defense is coming back. Not the whole defense, but a majority of them are coming back because a lot of them opted out from COVID last year. So I think that defense is going to be their beck and call on their special teams. So if you pick up their defense and their special teams on the daily wire or the daily games with DraftKings, and I would definitely go out and get them for your defense for a daily game. But I don't see much value in any other New England Patriots because it's more of a team aspect, right? They're not going to overload you with stats. Like it's going to be different players each game, basically. Like, do you really trust Myers? Do you really trust Myers to be number 1? Aguilar drops a lot of passes throughout the year, so I don't see much value in any of these players with your team.
Yeah, we've got a couple of comments. Ed's actually in here. He said that Newton hasn't been the same or hasn't been right since TJ Watt sacked him when he was with Carolina.
It could be true.
Yeah, true that. He also asked a question that's very popular right now. And we can get into that a little bit here. What's the stance on player? What's our stance on players' vaccination status determining their chances of being cut? Urban Meyer was actually called out about that. They were doing an investigation with that for Jacksonville. And the biggest thing as far as Sweep the League goes, we don't really get into politics or any talk like that here. But, as far as vaccination goes, for me personally, when it comes to players, it's tough to say. I understand the NFL said that if you are not vaccinated and you're out for X number of games or whatever, it's, you can cost your team wins and all this other stuff. I get all that. I know they're putting pressure on whatever. To me, it's however the NFL sees it fit, the NFL is going to do. And it's their league. It's their rules. My opinion, if it's my NFL, if I'm the guy running the NFL, I am 100% again. Hey, we've got to protect everybody. I understand that. But I also understand beliefs. I understand that people are free to choose whatever they want to do as well. I mean, that's one of the good things about, our country is that we're free to do whatever we want. And I feel like if it's something that you want to do, great. If it's something you don't want to do, okay, good. That's fine. But I understand the NFL stance. There's got to be some consequences too. I mean, last year we saw teams that had not forfeited, but we had to postpone games, move them. And I understand it's tough. It's really tough to do that for teams because you're going to play 1 week, then you got to go right back around and play another game the same week sometimes. So my stance is It's the NFL's baby. It's the NFL's league. They do what they want to do. Did you want to lay a comment on this, Trey?
I'm all for pro-choice. Like, I'll be straight up honest with yourselves, with myself. I didn't want to get the vaccine. I was all for that pro-choice. No, you don't need a vaccine. Because me personally, it's a personal choice, right? You don't. I never got sick. I never got the flu shot. I never even had the flu in my entire life. I maybe had 3 or 4 colds my entire life. But like you said, the players are part of the NFL employee. So yeah, you have a right not to get the vaccine, but the NFL also has a right to not to suspend you or make these rules the way they are, just like any one of me and Rudy's employers do the same thing. You have consequences for your choices. And at first I was kind of upset that you needed to get vaccinated, but if you're not going to get vaccinated, and I believe and the only problem I do have with it is like if you talk to your doctor and you do have like some sort of medical condition where it's going to make you even more sicker, right? If it is going to be a health problem, I think the NFL needs to lay off on that just a little bit. But I mean, that's very rare and because it's very safe. Honestly, it's very safe, guys. But like you said, it's a personal choice, but it's also consequences with those choices, just with everything else you do. I know a lot of people use the seatbelt analogy where, you have to wear a seatbelt, speed limits, all this. Yeah, you can go over the speed limit, but if you break that rule, then you're going to get a ticket or a fine. So basically, it's the same thing here. Me personally, I just say just go get the shot. And I will say this: I know we don't do politics here, and I don't do it, but if this was not political size, if it wasn't Democrat versus Republican, this shot would have been no problem. I guarantee 95% of Americans already have the shot.
Yeah, true. And, Eddie does make the same point that we were saying too. It's freedom of choice doesn't mean free from consequences. Exactly. I mean, it's kind of like it's the NFL's league. I mean, they're free to do whatever they want to do. If they feel like 100% of their players need to be vaccinated, then I mean that's their call. It's a privately owned business. I mean, so they make their call, and it's to me, like I said, if you choose not to, fine by me. I mean, I don't. I have friends that are not vaccinated. I have friends that are, and I'm totally friends with everybody on it. I don't. It doesn't bother me at all.
Yeah.
At all. I mean, whatever you decide is that same thing that should go for the NFL. Great question, Eddie. I appreciate you asking. Like I said, we don't usually talk a lot of politics on here. We hardly ever do, but this isn't really a political type thing. It actually was involved with Urban Meyer in the investigation. Cam Newton was actually involved with questioning because Bill Belichick was questioned about that kind of stuff as well too. So just moving right along here, the New York Jets, man. The last team that we're covering here on Sweep the League for the AFC East. Before we get into Trey's favorite and everybody else's favorite, the NFC East. This is brought to you by Project Spurs and DraftKings. Go get that DraftKings account. Fantasy football is right around the corner. Use that promo code TBPN to get your account going. Get ready for fantasy. And they also do college football. College football starts tomorrow. So definitely go get that account. Get ready. North Carolina wins their first game on Friday at 5 o'clock. So I just want everybody to know that right there. The New York Football Jets, Jets, Jets. How good can this team really be, Trey? 2 wins last year. Do we see 2 wins again, or do we see 3? I'm going to go out on a limb and say we see 3 wins this year from the New York Jets. But I expect Zach Wilson to be one of the better rookie QBs this season and put up some really good numbers. I just don't think they are ready to win 5, 6, 7 games. I still think they're a 3 to 4 win team, but we're going to see Zach Wilson emerge this year. You gave me the wow. Why did you give me the wow?
I just can't believe you're high on Zach Wilson. Everyone's high on this guy. I just don't understand. And I'm here to admit, if you've been watching our show every Wednesday night, I've been a hater on Zach Wilson. I said he's going to be a bust. I said he's not going to be paying. Justin Fields is going to be 10 times better than what Zach Wilson is. And I think Justin Fields should have been number 2 overall quarterback. And I still stand by that. But saying that, I'm glad Justin Fields wasn't number 2 quarterback because then you have to go to this god-awful organization in the New York Jets. But I'm here to admit I might be turning a little bit with the Zach Wilson thing. He looked pretty dang good this preseason. Now, it is preseason. He's playing against basically second and third stringers. He ain't playing against elite defenses and stuff. What is he going to do against the Bill Belichick's defense? What is he going to do with the Miami Dolphins defense? What is he going to do with all these top defenses in the AFC? I have yet to see it. I might be turning a little bit, like he might not be totally a bust, but I still don't believe in Zach Wilson at all. But saying that, he is probably the best player on this Jets team.
Probably so. I will put it past Michael Carter.
Yeah, I was going to go Michael Carter probably right there with them. But I'm actually going on a limb. I think they have a new head coach over there. They got a new general manager over there. I think they're changing things around over there. I think I'm actually going to go one win above you. I think they're actually going to get 4 wins this year. I just think they're going to get it done.
4 wins. I could see 4. I definitely can see 4 wins. I mean, I'm definitely seeing 4 wins. Not much fantasy value here. We're not even going to really talk on the fantasy value. I mean, you're really not drafting anybody outside of Michael Carter late in drafts. Really not much fantasy value here.
I've seen a lot of people draft.
2 seconds. Wow. Before we start a fantasy draft, another fantasy draft here. It's that time, buddy. Before we get into that time, Project Spurs. Go visit those guys at Project Spurs. Go to the website. Follow them on all social media. Everything San Antonio Spurs related, you got to go there and go follow those guys. They're great on that. Not only that, you get football talk with us. So, but what is football? Hey, it leads to DraftKings. TBPN. Promo code TBPN. Go get your DraftKings out. Type in TBPN. Get your official Sweep the League Project Spurs DraftKings account. Use that promo code today. Go get your DraftKings account. So, we're getting into the NFC East, man. NFC East. I'm gonna have to go pull this up now because I want to start from the back forward because the Dallas Cowboys are first when our preview pages. That's already coming up now. I got draft day in my ear. We're gonna start with the Washington football, not the R's, the football team. This defense, brother, is capital A amazing.
Yes.
I love this defense. Chase Young, I mean, I'm all 100% in on Chase Young. And this defense is stout. Now, you give me Ryan Fitzpatrick, this offense looks really good now. Terry McLaurin, you added a Curtis Samuel. You've got Antonio Gibson. Wow. Could this be the best team in the NFC East? I know you're going to say no because you're Cowboys, but come on, Trey. This is probably going to be the best team in the NFC East. Prove me wrong.
No, I mean, no. I think the NFC East is a 2-team race. I think it all depends on Dak Prescott, his health, and I think it has to do with the Dallas Cowboys defense, and I also think that it has to do with Ryan Fitzpatrick. And then what he gonna have to? What Ryan Fitzpatrick are we gonna get? Right? Are we gonna get the 6th interception Ryan Fitzpatrick a game, or are we gonna get the 6th TD one? We don't know what we're gonna get. It just seems like when he becomes a starter and everything's put on him to be the best. To carry a team, it seems like he always falters a little bit. But when he's not being called on to be part of the best, you just put him in there and no expectation on him. He's probably one of the best quarterbacks in the league for whatever reason that is. But I do like the Washington football team. I really do. I like their defense. Like you said, you have Chase Young. You have those nasty boys on the defensive line. They're going to give a lot of teams hell with the offensive line. And they're going to sack the quarterback quite a few times. That defense on the back end is going to be stout. That defense is going to carry that team just like it did last year. But I do like their offensive weapon, Terry McLaurin. I like Antonio. I like this team. I'll give you my prediction at the end of this segment. But I'm going to give you a little teaser. But I do think it is a 2-team race between them and the Dallas Cowboys. I do say that, yes.
You really, really do. Jorginho's in here. He's a huge Cowboy fan. LOL. Oh my God. I know. But I really do think that Washington is probably the best team in the NFC East. That's just my personal opinion. Definitely a team on the rise is the Philly. Go ahead. What do you got, Trey?
I will say this: they do have the best head coach in that division. Not overall in the NFL, but in that division, they do have the best head coach. A guy who's actually been. I know Mike McCarthy went to the Super Bowl, but come on, Aaron Rodgers basically carried that team to the Super Bowl. Had nothing to do with Mike McCarthy. I think the head coach for Washington is going to help carry that team for sure.
Yeah, I know. Hey, man. So we're moving on. Philadelphia Eagles here. This is an interesting team. At least for me, it's pretty interesting. I I'm starting to come around on Jalen Hurts a little bit. I see the potential there. They went out and got a Gardner Minshew through a trade. So
And we were wrong about that, weren't we?
yeah, somewhat. But this team, how good can they be? They were 4-11 last year. I don't really have them really high this year, but could they be a surprise team in the NFC East? Do you think? I mean, you went out and added Devontae Smith. They needed receiving help. So to pair him up with a Jalen Rieger, I mean, Dallas Goedert's there. The defense is not great, but it's not bad. I mean, this team looks like they can compete. I think can we be real, man? This is probably the better or one of the best 4-11 teams. Period. I mean, they've got to win more than 4 games this year. Am I wrong or am I right on that?
I mean, I could see them winning maybe 6 games this year. I think they're going to be in a lot of tough, close games if you want to go that far. I like you said, I like the Devontae Smith pairing with Jalen Hurts, Gardner Minshew backing up Jalen Hurts. I like the Rager. I like Dallas Goddard, your tight end. I like this. The defense isn't bad; they're mediocre. But the problem is their offensive line, and that's why Jalen Hurts is going to be running for his life, and that's why I think they're going to lose a lot of close games because I think he's going to get sacked late in the game. Whenever they need something to happen, they're going to get sacked because I just don't trust this offensive line very much. But there is a new head coach, a new regime. It ain't Doug Peterson anymore. It all depends on Jalen Hurts and how accurate and how good he is, how much work he put in this offseason and how good he's going to be during the regular season. He's going to be running. He's going to have to make a lot of play, which he is capable. We saw that at Alabama and at Oklahoma a couple of years. So it's up to him and how he's going to handle the pressure that he's going to get in his face each and every week, probably each and every series for the most part. And can there be a number one? Like, I don't see a true number one wideout receiver right now for the Philadelphia Eagles. Could it be Jalen Rager? Could it be a Devontae Smith who's going to be a rookie this year? One of those guys are going to have to come out and be the true number one wide receivers to help Jalen Hurts out. And I think Devontae Smith can do it. But I think they win 2 more games than what they did last year. And I think they get six wins this year. I think they finished third.
Yeah. Third, and George is saying that Philadelphia is going to bring up the bottom. And again, this is a team, 4 wins on the year, and I think they're probably the best 4-win team that we're looking at. They had injuries last year. Obviously, Carson Wentz was injured. Jalen Hurts is here. So, I mean, I think this is a better 4-win team than people are expecting. This on paper. I mean, I like this team. I really do like this team. Fantasy value, just getting a quick fantasy value, Jalen Hurts, Miles Sanders, these guys are, guys that you probably want to get. Maybe go out and get a Devontae Smith, just stash him there. Yeah, he's going to be ready towards, I think towards the end of the season, if not middle of the season. You can hear a lot about Devontae Smith. The New York Football Giants, man. Daniel Jones. I was so high on Danny Dimes when he was drafted. I think I look back and I think I was just high. When we were talking about Danny Dimes. Again, you had a Saquon Barkley that was injured last year. That, to me, that kind of was a big hurt, obviously, for the New York Giants. I think that did hurt the development of Danny Dimes as well. But at the same time, that should have been Danny Jones's time to shine. 6-win team, not bad for a team that wasn't that great. What did they do? They went out and drafted a Kadarius Toney. They got a Kenny Galladay. So their receiving core, adding to the Sterling Shepard, is good. I mean, they've upgraded their receiving core for sure. Kyle Rudolph is the tight end. Why? Because Evan Ingram cannot be trusted anymore. I can't stand trusting Evan Ingram anymore. This is the year Daniel Jones has to be the man. Can we say that and scream that from the mountaintop? If Daniel Jones has the year of his life, this Giants team is easily 8-9 win team. Easily. Can Danny make that jump, Trey? Everybody in New York is counting on us to sell them on Daniel Jones. Me personally, I'm not gonna not sell on him yet. I still believe in Danny. I just don't know how much anymore.
I sold on Danny Dimes when he was wide open to score a touchdown. He tripped over his own feet and didn't score a touchdown. So I'm out on Danny Dimes a long time ago. I never really liked Danny Dimes coming out of college. He was just a product of the Duke process that the same quarterbacks coach that helped Peyton Manning, Eli Manning, and all those great camps and everything like that. I there's times he looks right. There's times he looks like he could be an all-pro quarterback. Then there's times he's like he's the worst player in the NFL. So, like you said earlier, that this is it for Danny Dimes. The New York Giants are going to have to choose after this year if they want to go after a quarterback next year or they're going to stick with Danny Dimes as their future. And if he doesn't prevail and become elite, probably this, I would say, second best quarterback in that division, then you need to go out and get back. But I mean, I just don't trust this team. They did get great at wide receivers, but how good is your wide receiver if you don't have a good quarterback that doesn't throw accurate enough to get it to you and let you make those plays that you can make in the open field? Kenny Galladay is a great addition, but I just don't trust Danny Dimes. Like I said, over and over and over again, I don't trust a guy who can just trips over his feet all the time and had an easy chance to score. So I just think that it's up to Danny Dimes to carry this team. If Danny Dimes has a hell of a season, look for the New York Giants to possibly contend with the NFC East crown. Remember, they're only a Doug Peterson benching Jalen Hurts away from making the playoffs last year at a 6-10 record. They got hot at the end of the year. So can they catch lightning in a bottle twice? I don't think so. I think they may move on from Danny Dimes, but this is it. This is his final year to prove himself. So good luck, Danny Dimes.
Yeah, for sure, man. Hey, sign up with DraftKings today. Again, use that promo code TBP and get your account ready. Fantasy football season is right around the corner, as well as college football starts tomorrow. They've got all types of games there for y'all to play out there. So go get that DraftKings account today. TBPN is a promo code to use for your DraftKings account. Ladies and gentlemen, we are ready to move on from the New York Giants, the Washington football team, and the Philadelphia Eagles. Everybody that is tuning in right now is definitely waiting for this next team. We're going to spend a little bit of time on this team. Why? Because it's America's team. It's Trey's team. It's the team that everybody in the NFL wants to talk about. That is one Dallas Cowboys. Jerry Jones loves him some glory hole, as we've heard in the past.
Oh, my God.
Jerry Jones loves him some Whataburger, as we're finding out very quickly on Hard Knocks. Hard Knocks is the perfect title for this Dallas Cowboys team. Dak Prescott goes down last season. They have a terrible season, 6-10. Dak is back. We've heard questions about Dak possibly still being injured, but then those went away. I'm going to give this to you because, again, another team on paper looks really good. People are screaming Super Bowl in Dallas. People are screaming Super Bowl in the state of Texas. I'm not buying it. I can't trust them. I'm not screaming Super Bowl. I've got Washington as the best team in the NFC East. So, talk me from that ledge. Can you convince me that the Dallas Cowboys are the team to beat in the NFC East? I seriously doubt you can. George St. Jones will not be with the Giants after this year. Probably not. Will Haverland's in here. He's worried about CeeDee Lamb now. Again, CeeDee Lamb's out.
Yeah.
COVID. I mean, he should be back soon, but CeeDee Lamb's out. Can you prove to me that this Cowboys team is going to be better than Washington? Trey, this is your time to shine. Go for it.
My time to shine. Okay. They hold the brakes, Dallas Cow. Every year we hear this, right? That's why people hate us Dallas fans, because every year we're going to the Super Bowl. We got the best. Hump the brakes. Remember your defense from last year? almost dead last year. I know they brought in Dan Quinn to simplify things, and that's what he's done. But if you've seen them in the preseason, Trevor Lawrence, who's having an awful preseason, made that secondary. I know it was second and third string, but at the same time, some of these guys are going to play during the regular season. Made them look pedestrian and made them look like they didn't belong. They look like a college football team more than an NFL team. Trevor Lawrence only missed one pass, threw a couple of touchdown passes, and looked very good in the preseason game. Now, CeeDee Lamb I'm not worried about CeeDee Lamb. He got double vaccinated. He's not feeling any symptoms. He was just in protocol. He will be back next week for practice. I think he might even be back tomorrow for practice. I'm not 100% sure on that. But CeeDee Lamb is having one hell of a camp this year. I think he's going to be I've made a prediction that he's going to be top 5 wide receiver this year. If you see what he did in the highlights at the training camp and Hard Knocks and everything like that, he looks like a bona fide stud in this league. You can compare that with Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper's another question mark. Can his feet stay healthy enough? He started on the season on Publix, only got one couple snaps in the preseason. Can he stay healthy throughout the regular season? And then Michael Gallup. Everyone's high on Michael Gallup after last year, but he kind of faded out at the end of the year, and he missed a lot of good passes from the backup quarterbacks. Now, what I like what Dallas did today, they cut both Gilbert and they got Minshew yesterday. And then they went in. Everyone wanted Cam Newton to come in. Well, they're not bringing in Cam Newton because why? Because Dak Prescott's making $43 million a year. And if Cam Newton doesn't want to get vaccinated, and then he's in a quarterback room, he gets COVID. Guess who else is going to be in COVID protocol? Dak Prescott. So therefore, you don't have your backup. You don't have a quarterback or a backup quarterback for that stretch of the imagination. So it all depends on health for the Dallas Cowboys. Can Dak carry this team? Yes, we've seen that Dak is the leader of this team. We've seen him carry to a 13-3 record. We've seen it's up to Dak and Zeke. Zeke has come in as well as the fittest he's ever came in training camp. He lost 15 pounds. He looks like he's running the ball hard. He looks like he's engaged. He's helping other running backs come out and everything. If Dak and Zeke can stay healthy, and then Amari Cooper can also stay healthy, this offense can score with the best of them. They can score with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They can. You might have shootouts in a couple games, but who I'm really looking at is that secondary is CeeDee Lamb, not CeeDee Lamb, Diggs, and the other corner, and then their Hooker, the one, new active safety.
Yeah,
if they can carry this team and help this defense out, which I think they possibly can, because Diggs has had a great training camp as well. Diggs is looking to be that shutdown corner that everyone's been looking for in Dallas that they haven't seen in a long time. But we haven't got that. So if Zeke Elliott, don't forget about either. This team has weapons. I think they have more weapons than the Washington Redskins. Or the Washington Redskins, I'm sorry, football team, not Redskins. I'm sorry. It's still not used to me yet. It's that defense. They don't have it like the Washington football team. They don't have a defense like the Washington football team. And yes, Dallas offensive line has been the strong suit for many years. When they're injured and they're out, they're horrible. When they're all healthy, can Tyron Smith play 17 games or 16 games? I don't think he can with that back and his aging back. Can Zach Martin? Can all these other guys? I don't know. But that's going to have to be your strong point to carry this team and keep Dak Prescott healthy, because Dak Prescott is not going to run the ball as much as he used to, especially with 2 surgeries on that dislocated ankle. So DeMarcus Lawrence is going to have a good year after signing his contract. Leighton Vander Esch, I think he's going to have a backup year. He was mostly injured last year. Key addition, Michael Parsons. Parsons is going to be a hell of a pickup for the Dallas Cowboys. They have a good linebacking core if they stay healthy. If the Dallas Cowboys defense can be not best, but they can be mediocre for top 15, 14, 13, in that range, in the scoring that this Dallas Cowboys team can do, I look for them to be NFC East champions.
Bullshit. I'm telling you.
Who has the better offense, Rudy? Whose offense would you take right now?
Okay. So we're gonna be for real on this. Offensively, yes, I would take Dallas's offense all day. And George was saying the offensive line for Dallas is the key. He's right. I mean, the key for the Dallas is offensive line. If they play good, I mean, if they play their way they are capable of playing, then you're not going to touch Dak. Zeke's going to have those holes. I mean, you're going to see a massive amount of points from this team. I do totally get that. But what I look at is okay, you can score, yes, but you are also going to get scored on. That defense is still suspect. So you're going to see the 35 to 38s. You're going to see the high scores. What that's to me what separates them from the Washington football team. Washington's defense is elite, and they're going to have trouble against Washington. Washington's not going to have trouble putting points up against the Cowboys. That's the separation that I've got between Washington and Dallas in the NFC East. That's why I've got Washington as the best team. I mean, is that legit? Is that legit enough to go to a Cowboy fan and say you can't stop anybody, you can score, but you got to hope to stop somebody?
Well,
same thing like Atlanta, dude. Atlanta's the same way. They've always been that way. They can score. They just can't stop anybody.
Well, I agree with you. I said that Washington football team is probably the top 5 defensive team in the NFL. They're elite. They're the best. But that's what I'm getting at. They're not going to score a lot of points, where the Cowboys are going to score points. But that's what I'm saying. If the defense comes to mediocre 15, 14, 13th at best, and they do get 1 or 2 stuff, because they don't need them to stop them all the time. They need to stop them, like get a key stop here or there, maybe 3 or 4 good stops in a game for this offense to take the lead and not relinquish it. That's what I'm saying. With the Dallas probably going to have top 5 offense in the league, and then the Cowboys defense comes back to mediocre, about 15, 14, 13th, whatever. Even if they do get in the top 10, they're the best team, and if they can get that way, I think Dan Quinn can get this team, that defense, to this up. I think adding Michael Parson, that linebacking core with Leighton Vander Esch, I think that team, and then you get Hooker going in the backfield, and then you have Trayvon Diggs as well. I just think that this defense is going to be a lot better than what people think. I don't think they showed all their car. Remember, in the preseason games, Dan Quinn was not there for 2 of those games because of COVID-related issues whenever they start, and they weren't showing everything. I think you're going to see a new Dallas Cowboy defense. I think you're going to see I don't think they're going to be the best, but I still think that they're going to come down to elite, to about mediocre, and if they could be mediocre or best, this Dallas Cowboy team has a chance to go deep, make a deep playoff run. I'm guaranteeing you that right now.
Okay, so
and
how many wins?
That Washington football team is actually playing a first place schedule this year too, where Dallas is in 3rd place. So there's Dallas Cowboys schedule probably easier.
So how many wins do you see for the Cowboys? I mean, what are you seeing for the Cowboys this year, win-wise?
I'll go 11-6.
11-6. Okay.
I think Washington will get 10-7 or 10-6. No, it's not 11-6. 11-5, ain't it? No, 11.
Worst case scenario. For me, worst case scenario would be 9. 9 wins for the Cowboys. Worst case, I think. If they stay healthy,
yes.
If everything goes right, I'm going to stick with worst case scenario, 9 wins. So best case scenario, and say they have Washington's number, everything falls into place for Dallas, 13-4. I'll give them 13 wins on absolute best case scenario, 13-4. I think. My thing is, I've got to see this team first in a couple of weeks. I mean, give me till week 3, week 4, the first month of the season to see exactly what you've got on the field with the Cowboys. They're explosive. We know that they can be explosive. I want to see how much Dak is back. I need to see that first. I need to see that Zeke actually, all the work he put in the offseason actually makes a damn difference, because Zeke of last year was terrible. But I know, Zach was a person that, made Zeke go and all this stuff. Offensive line was bad. Okay, so Will's asking, best case 13-4. Where does that put them over on the NFC then? It's got to be one of the top teams. I mean, you're talking about Tampa Bay?
Tampa Bay's going to be your 1 seed. Rams are going to be your 2 seed. And I think Cowboys can make that 3 seed. Remember, only one team gets a bye this year, too, with the 17 playoff. So Tampa Bay's going to get that bye. And I think the Rams are going to be right on their tail. I think the Cowboys are a distant 3rd. with that.
I think ideally, I mean,
Well, maybe the
let's be
Packers.
real.
I don't believe in the Packers this year though either. So
Well, let's be real. Tampa Bay is going to probably get that one seed. I
right.
mean, their defense is absolute elite. Tom Brady there, the offensive tools that he's got, the weapons. I mean, they're going to more than likely, barring injury, they're going to be the one seed. So
Mhm.
I see that. Will's asking Green Bay over the Cowboys. I mean Cowboys over Green Bay. I I say on their best in the best case scenario was 13-4. Best case. I mean, do I peg them for 13-4? No. I think ideally 10-11 wins. And that's exactly what George is saying. 10-11 wins max. I think they're a 10-11 win team. I think they can squeak out of the NFC East. I just have Washington winning the East. I don't know. I mean, it's just me personally. I have no hatred on the Cowboys. My wife's a Cowboy fan. If I want to stay married, I've got to cheer for the Cowboys. So I do have investments into the Cowboys basically, but I don't know why I'm so high on Washington. I think it's that defense. I think it's a really good defense. I think with the addition of Ryan Fitzpatrick makes that much more of a difference for the Washington football team. You don't have Dwayne Haskins anymore. You don't have a problem. You have a veteran quarterback who has shown he can lead teams in the past. So that's where I'm giving them the edge over the Cowboys. But I can also see the Cowboys being the best team in the NFC East and one of the better teams in the NFC itself. I mean,
I agree with
this
you.
is the hard part about the Cowboys. It's America's team. They sell you on being the best, and they come up short a lot of times. So apparently, last time the Phoenix Suns were in the finals, the Cowboys won the Super Bowl. Apparently, the last time the Bucks won the championship, Cowboys won the Super Bowl.
Man,
So
stars are
we did
aligned,
see an
right?
NBA Finals of Phoenix and Milwaukee. Could this be Super Bowl year for the Cowboys?
I mean, dude, this team has Super Bowl talented teams, but like you, the Cowboys have broken everyone's heart. Every time you pick them, they let you down. Then the year Tony Romo goes down right in preseason, our faithful season's over. Well, and Dak Prescott and Ezekiel leading to a 13-3 record. So it seems like when the pressure's on them, they fade. But when no one's picking them, that's when they start doing good. But I just have a gut feeling that this is a different Dallas Cowboy team. Jerry Jones has scaled back a lot this year. You haven't heard much noise with troublemaking or COVID-related incidents with the vaccine. You haven't heard much, except for Hard Knocks. You haven't heard the contract negotiations with every player. Everyone's under contract right now. So it just seems like the best teams, you don't hear anything about them. I mean, like Kansas City, you don't hear anything about them in the offseason. And they're good every year. Dallas Cowboys, the first time in forever, I can say that there has been no noise in Dallas Cowboys till training camp started. In the offseason, where you heard any noise and it seemed like they were just all business. That's where I'm starting to feel good about my. Seems like Jerry Jones has stepped back a little bit, but then if you watch Hard Knocks, he's right in the middle of everything as well. But I just think that Jerry Jones is finally figuring out that, hey, he's getting older. He's almost 80 years old. He's not going to live much. He can't be the owner of this team much longer before he hands the reins over to Stephen Jones. I think that he wants to win a Super Bowl. I think he's starting to figure out just a little bit how to lay off a little bit. Just because you didn't hear any baggage just at all this offseason. That's very rare for the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, and George gambles a lot, man. George is gambling, man. He says take the boys +7 and under 51 on the first game. Go straight to the cashier's window. I would say that. Yeah, I definitely would take the Cowboys. I mean, it's the opening. It's the
I
first
think
game of the season.
Yeah, everyone's picking Tampa Bay to win this game, in which they should. Tampa Bay's a better team, but I just think it's going to be ring night. It's going to be emotional. And Dallas wants something to prove. I think the game's going to be a lot closer than what everyone's saying it is. I think Dallas is actually going to lose by 4 or 3 points. I think.
Yeah, and that's why he's saying take. I would
Exactly.
take +7 is massive in
Oh,
football.
in
I mean,
NFL,
it's
yeah,
huge.
that's huge.
Yeah. So yeah, if you're getting +7 under 51, I definitely can see that. My thing is, as before we get off on the Cowboys here, um, yeah, we'll say McCarthy's still their head coach. Yeah, he is. But what brings up coaching, and this is where I'm going to go with my Cowboy take here. The difference maker, and I can't believe I'm saying this because I hated the guy when he was in Atlanta. Dan Quinn is the difference maker for this Cowboys team. You've
Mhm.
got a guy who was the DC in Seattle, Legion of Boom. So why can't he bring that same style, that same Legion into Dallas, and you get the Doomsday defense? I mean, Dan Quinn, I think, is the reason why the Cowboys can have that upside year and where I have them as completely best 13-4. I mean, Mike McCarthy can run the offense. Dan Quinn can run the defense. Finally, Jerry's got it right. He doesn't have Jason Garrett clapping his ass away and doing this and that. No, he doesn't have, Wade Phillips and his flabby underarms shaking all over the place and, doing the defense, but no offense. This is a team put together that is going to be well coached. I do. And that's why I say Dan Quinn is going to make the difference on this Dallas Cowboys team. That's why I've got him at 13-4, at best 13-4. So prediction, Trey. You said you're going to give me a huge prediction at the end here. Are you predicting your Cowboys to win the Super Bowl?
I'm picking the Dallas Cowboys. You're hearing it here first. To make it to the NFC Championship game.
NFC Championship game.
Right, which is a big deal for the Dallas Cowboys.
So are we thinking an NFC Championship game is going to be the Cowboys, Rams, Cowboys, Bucks? One of the two.
Cowboys, Bucks.
Cowboys, Bucks. I actually like Rams and Bucks.
I was going back and forth, but I think the Rams are going to get. I don't trust Matt Stafford to stay healthy. I don't. I think something's going to happen. I just don't. I think something's going to happen in the playoffs where they're going to lose in the second round.
Yeah. Maybe so. Maybe so, man.
But we're the podcast that gives wild and crazy takes. So that's why you have to love Sweep the League.
Yeah, we tend to go off the rails a lot. We tend to give some crazy ass takes for sure. Hey, real quick, man. Again, Sweep the League is brought to you by Project Spurs and also DraftKings. DraftKings, go use that DraftKings promo code TBPN. Get your DraftKings account now. College football starts tomorrow. Actually, they got some games tomorrow. Quick shout out, man. Last time I saw UTSA was +6. Now they're +5.5. I think they were down to +5. You should have taken UTSA when they were +6.5 because I think they're gonna pull off a nice little upset over Illinois this weekend. But we've previewed. What's that?
I said, yeah, they should because Illinois they lost their starting quarterback last week. They have a good chance. I like what Mike Traylor's doing over there at UTSA. This team is up and coming. They went to the first bowl game in a long time last year. I like what this team is doing. Pick UTSA. If that's the spread line, I would probably go UTSA in that one for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely. If it's at 5.5 still, even 5, I would definitely do that. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind. So for Trey Collis, for Rudy Campos, and myself, Coach Gio, we've previewed and we've actually swept every single division in the NFL. We've gotten you ready for football. We're ready for football. Next Wednesday, we're actually going to change it a little bit up here. We'll get into some more football talk next Wednesday. Also go back to some of our regular scheduled programming. Talk about just about anything and everything that we can talk about under the sun. So for Trey Collis, Rudy Campos Jr., thanks everybody for sweeping the leagues with us. We'll be back next weekend. Don't forget the fantasy countdown is this Sunday, getting you ready for week 1 of fantasy. Wow. Join us from 10 to 11 this Sunday. You guys be good. We will